Okay, we've got mixed exercise 8 from the first year core textbook and we're on question 3. So if x is so small that terms of x cubed and higher can be ignored is basically telling us that when we expand these brackets out, so this is where our binomial expansion is going to be used, we only need to go up to the x cubed term. Okay, so let's get the screen up. Right. Okay, so think about that. So question 3. So I'm going to do, so obviously the binomial expansion is on the 1 minus 3x to the power of 5. So let's get that sorted first. Let's just get the binomial formula up. So also obviously for us, a is 1, b, now be really careful, b is minus 3x. That minus will be important, and n is 5. So it's going to be 1 to the, oh, don't need to precise. Going to be 1 to the power of 5, so that is just 1. So you don't have to put your 1s to all the powers. It can be helpful just to carry on the pattern. So it's going to be 5 choose 1, 1 to the power of 4 times minus 3x, 5 choose 2, 1 to the power of 3 times minus 3x squared, and then 5 choose 3, 1 to the power of 3 minus 3x cubed, and then they've told me that anything higher than cubed is small enough that I can ignore it. So as I said, you do not need all these powers of 1, yet you obviously need a 1 there, but then if you just choose not to write these, that's absolutely fine. I've put them there just so you can clearly see the pattern. So the power of this term, this of A reduces by 1 each time, whilst the power of B goes up by 1 each time. Okay, so let's tidy that up. So obviously 1 to the power of 5 is just 1. Yes, do be really careful with negatives. So I normally just look ahead and sort of look at negatives and decide if the next term is going to be plus or minus. So the only negative is the minus 3, so that will be minus overall. And it's going to be 5 choose 1, which is 5 times 1 times minus 3. So that's going to be minus 15. Then it's going to be, so again, if I look here, that's the only negative term, but it's squared, so it's going to become positive. So it's going to be 5 choose 2 times 1 times 9. So that's going to be, that is going to be plus 90x squared. And then the next term, so again, I've got a negative there and it's cubed, so that will be negative. So the next term will be negative. So it's going to be 5 choose 3 times minus 3 all cubed. So times minus 27. Okay, so and then that would carry on, but we don't need to do the power of 4 and the power of 5. Right, so that's my, that's those brackets expanded. So then it really just becomes being careful with algebra. So I then want to multiply that by 2 plus x. So it's 2 plus x times 1 minus 15x plus 90x squared minus 270x cubed. And you can use whatever method you like. You can use grid method. That's a nice way of keeping it organised. I'm going to just multiply through by the 2. So I'm going to have 1 times 2 minus 15x times 2 plus 90x squared times 2 minus 270x cubed times 2, and then multiply through by the x. So 1 times x minus 15 times x, 90x squared times x, and 270x cubed times x. Okay, and then they said, so also, they've told me I can ignore powers higher than x cubed. So now I've expanded those brackets out. They can both go. I still needed this x cubed term though, because obviously, oh, no, I didn't. Okay, sorry. No, I'm not going to do the whole thing again, but I didn't. I never needed x cubed, did I? Okay, so basically, you might be a bit more on the ball than I am. I didn't really need that term. Okay, anyway, it's there now. I'm not going to start the whole thing again. Okay, so now let's collect our like terms and keep our fingers crossed that we do get what they've got here. So I'm okay for the 2. That's my only constant. Then for my x term, I've got minus 30x plus x. So yeah, minus 29x. Fantastic, that's what I want. And for my x squared, I have got 180, this is going straight to my calculator, minus 540 minus 15. And okay, so I have done something wrong there, and I'm very much going to hope I can spot it so that I don't have to do the whole thing again. Oh, I'll tell you what I think I did. Yeah. Yeah, okay, so that's fine. So good, lucky for me, it was a show that question. That was wrong, wasn't it? That should have been a cubed, which then means that I wouldn't have included that. Yeah, apologies for that. So that happened when, that was when I did, yeah, so I just think I just wrote it down wrong. So that was when I did those terms times together. That was that term there. Okay, so that does mean that, so I've actually got 180x squared minus 15x squared, yeah, which does give me the 165 x squared. I'm just going to do a final check that I have written everything out clearly. Yeah, okay, so let's just be clear then. So how I would sort of leave my final working is just change that to a cubed, and then I didn't need to worry about the x cubed terms, and that would be fine if it's just the final working. Okay.